an incredibly high damage backline with the Philios and the Syndra, and this is a much more playable game, in my opinion, from this Aphelios standpoint.
We're heading on into game 2. If PSG take this one, they march it forward towards game point, and that would be tremendous pressure on J-Team here. They are fighting for their chance to break PSG's hold over the PCS. We're going to see what happens here in game number 2. Heading on to the Rift, let's take a look at what the level 1s will be like. PSG are huge favorites of dropping wards down into early bushes here. We've seen this almost every start from Kaiwing. And so, he spots something. He spotted a silhouette just pop out of the brush right there, and he instantly backs off.
Yeah, thankfully, I mean, both supports get there pretty quickly down into that bot lane bush. If he was any slower, definitely would have been caught out there. And yeah, as things stand, with a quiet early game, J-Team will eventually come out on top. So PSG do need to be pretty proactive in this early game with this Volibear pick. Juhan can't play the slow game he's tended to opt towards more often than not. He has to be very active here. Play around this Leona, play around this Renekton, and I mean, the possibilities are pretty easy, right? Because you have so much chain CC potential that you can definitely imagine a world where they're able to burn early flashes and get a lot of early kills to get the ball rolling.
They ran this exact strategy against the Leaky. Renekton does get wave control. Earlier on, we are seeing Enzo find that first dredge line, which he didn't find in the previous game. And now Hanabi with the Conquerors. Already doing a lot of damage. He's almost up to Conquerors. Oh, he's got it already and
so
pops
hard.
the Q. Oh, Driver can't even walk towards the minions. He is supposed to lose the level 1. Let's watch this 2v2 though. Kaiwing going dangerously low, but he will stay alive. Little V going to heal up a little bit more with the red guns. And this fight is at least broken for now, but it does seem like PSG have a sizable lead here.
Yeah, they're pretty comfortable with the state of the lane, right? Because you exchange a chunk of HP on your Leona, but you trade it back onto the Philios. So while he is able to heal back with a little bit of Severum, you will have the level advantage because of that chunk onto a Philios. You can't walk up and push the wave back. So PSG will hit level 2, and that also means that they're going to have wave priority if they want to try and make a play into this bot side jungle with the Volibear.
Both junglers already hitting on the bot, but we do have the pings to indicate that PSG most likely has already spotted out the Hecarim, or at least suspect he's there. So they're not going to try anything overly risky, just roaming Kaiwing and Juhan at the same time to make sure they can keep tabs onto Kongre. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we have a gank incoming. Bay comes in, finds the chain, but Unit Boy plays it so confidently, waits on, and Driver now with a good trade onto Hanabi. Hanabi taken low, but still has a lot of fury here. Rage, excuse me. See if he uses it. And look at that CS difference. Hanabi might be low on HP, but he's certainly up on CS.
Yeah, thankfully, Driver gets a decent chunk of minions coming towards him here. And with Hecarim topside, I think that was a worry that PSG didn't chase that kill further because they didn't. They suspected where Kongre was, but they didn't actually see him on any ward. So they pull off on actually going for the flash play coming in from the Volibear to try and burn flash for flash on Uniboy.
Yeah, they don't fully commit to that one. Definitely could have found the flash for flash trade in their favor, but they played it a little bit safer right here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we did get a glimpse of the wave, and it will be shoving out against Hanabi, giving him a lot of say on how he really wants to play this one. And that's one of the things that just some like fun Flash Wolves stuff. Their coaches used to make them go into custom games and just play with the minion wave. Like, not even solo queue, just try to control the minion waves the entire time and to get it where you want it to be. Like, that was the fundamental skill that they needed their top laners to learn. I was very surprised about that because, you usually see such dry practice, but definitely happened on Flash Wolves. This time around, we do have the jungle staying around. Juhan is coming forward. Kaiwing blocks, and they get the flash away. So 2 summoners burned on the side of PSG. For 1 on J-Team, and J-Team seem to be pretty fine with that. Now they have Korea coming in. He's not spotted just yet. PSG are setting a trap, but this could be a trap for themselves as well. Who gets the first shot in is going to decide a lot of this. Kaiwing finds the stun onto Enzo. Enzo falls down, but Little V trying to claw back some more. Juhan will drop, and now Little V trying to chase down Kaiwing. Unified, on the other hand, dealing damage, but Kongre is dishing out so much more. It's the double killer for him.
Bay's here.
Kaiwing has nowhere to go. Can Bay change the calculus? He will find 1 kill.
He's gonna go down.
But Little V does have the gravitum here. He dodges out.
No
on
flash.
the Q at the very least, but Uniboy is looking for that kill. He finds the stun. 1 more auto attack.
Oh,
They
wait.
can't get it. He even goes back for the kill.
No
What
way.
a play!
Okay.
Uniboy finally does find it in the end. It will be, my math is terrible on this one. 3 for 4 in favor of J-Team.
That was literally everyone dying down in that bot lane. If there were tombstones representing it, it would just be just an absolute graveyard down there, as this bait goes really horribly wrong, I would say, for the side of PSG. J-Team, they have Kongra down there, and because you're missing the flash onto Unified, or, well, actually, Unified still has flash, so interesting there. But because of the position, it's so hard for Unified to actually get out of that, and with the ghost onto the Hecarim, it's just so hard to get away from that champion. And Bay, I mean, he plays it as well as he can.
He cheats stuff
in this
here.
instance, right? He doesn't have his W cooldown, so all he can do is really just run around, try and snipe that as much as he can. He buys enough time to actually get 1 kill back and burns the flash onto Uniboy as well. So at the end of it all, it's a lot of summoners burned, it's a lot of kills going down, but J-Team, they come out ever so slightly in that exchange.
Yeah, that last kill from Bay was absolutely ludicrous and totally worth it. He gets 2 kills on an assassin, and Little V, I just think he forgot he was taking tower. He just took 2 extra turret shots there to go down. So, you know, I don't think it's a decided lead for either side, but once again, I feel like PSG's bottom side is not playing up to their normal standards. They actually outbaited themselves on the first attempt and expended an extra summoner, and then Kaiwing doesn't even find the stun onto Little V on the second try either. So J-Team are able to turn that one, and we have seen Hecarim's actually just come up huge here. He does have the experience lead, the gold lead. He can pull off very frequent ganks right here. So this game looking a lot better for J-Team than the previous one.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be a phase rush Hecarim, which I think is more about the early mid game rather than the full-on scaling. Just get more advantages early on and hopefully have that extra stat check that you're able to snowball into just pummeling the Volibear here. But as it stands now, see what he's able to do with this tier 2 boots, which is, you know, interesting because if we compare junglers, it's actually Juhan that has the item advantage. He has the completed Bomby Cinder against the double Ruby Crystal on Kongre.
Corey gonna try for a potential gank here, but Unified does hit level 6, plus he has both his summoners up. It's not gonna be an easy dive here. And now Bay tries to close the trap. He's looking for Kongre in his own jungle.
No, he expects
will
this.
run right into him. I'm pretty sure they spotted Kongre a little bit earlier, so Bay definitely was looking for that one. I think he was just kind of using himself as a bait, maybe. Juhan does get the Herald in the meantime, so strong win for PSG here.
Yeah, it looks like Bay, he still wants to try and make his way towards that bottom side, but Uniboy lands the stun.
Here comes the top lane.
Yeah, could be a top lane dive setup, but it is a Gragas, a very difficult target to dive. So while things are going very, very well for Hanabi, he really needs to find a kill or a big team fight roam coming in from that teleport to really make his value known on this Renekton. Otherwise, it will eventually start to fizzle out. But
Ooh,
Uniboy a little bit too far out.
Yeah, does he get caught right here? The stun does go down. Bay finds the chain, and Uniboy has nowhere to go. The Unleash power not going to save him right there. A strong win for PSG once more. Kind of a baffling play from Uniboy, though, to be completely honest. Didn't expect him to try and punish this hard. PSG will hold on to the Herald and want to use that extra Baron recall just a while longer and hopefully get into a different lane.
Yeah, a bit of a little bit too tunneled in on trying to hard punish this matchup here, as he ends up falling because a little bit too far out in the lane without a flash, so gets easily punished. Even though Babe didn't have a whole lot of mana, not too hard to punish when you have a Volibear early levels with how much damage he does do, especially with the PTA. So now, as things stand, it's PSG opening up with a 1,000 gold lead. Again, most of that is going to come from this top side where it's a 30 CS lead or 40 CS lead here.
It's gotta be 40.
So, you know, Hanabi now committing to some dirty farming. We need to see how much pressure he's able to exert, because right now he is really, really strong. But Kongan zooming in, spotted out by the ward.
Driving by here against Bay. And, you know, I've been critical about a lot of these tempo champions from Bay, but if you give him 3 kills early on, he's still going to do LeBlanc things. This is a little bit worrying. The kill distribution is so nice for PSG in this one. See J-Team try to hard force the issue in the bottom side top lane. If they can equalize, they're probably considering that a win. And we do have the second Drake just about to pop here in 1 minute time. PSG's bottom lane, we did see the trade. They are able to dish out a lot of damage to Little V, but so far, the mythic item is still keeping that bot side in check. So more about PSG and where they find their spots in this one. Hongrian, of course, they assume he's here. We just saw things go down.
Oh,
Let's
they
see
should
if
not
PSG
go for this
started
fight,
this
though.
one. Still baiting it out.
There's still an item advantage for Lil V here.
Oh, the ult goes down. Lil V uses both summoners.
Oh,
is
no,
not
they're all
trapped
dead.
in, and there comes the big wombo combo coming in. PSG, they serve themselves up on a platter, and J-Team say thank you very much.
Ah, I'm
Getting deja vu? We saw this in the series versus CFO. Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, they just tunneled way too hard for that dive play. They tried to get the gank off it. Whenever you flash forward with the Feather Storm, that only spells really bad news in my opinion. So Unified on this, he was probably one of the better Sayas at the start, or when this pick first started appearing, and I feel like maybe we just look to put him back onto the Jinx where he has no choice but to sit back, guys.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at a replay of this one.
They know Connor's here.
Yeah, they even pinged him out. So that's why I was so surprised at them going for this play. You know, beautiful Moonlight Vigil to cap off the damage here as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just on a absolute silver platter. So J-Team now, I mean, with this Hecarim, yes, you are still down in gold overall, but remember, a lot of the gold deficits is going to be on this top side and against the Hullbreaker Renekton. I think this is a great adaptation from Hanabi and just saying, all right, I need to apply 131 pressure right now. So we get the Hullbreaker. The Gragas can't do anything here. It's going to have a lot more trouble trying to wave clear because of the extra Hullbreaker boost to my cannon minion. And now PSG setting up for this dragon.
And
I don't think they should try and contest it.
Yep. J-Team are going to escort them out this one. And I do want to talk about this trend here because this is how PSG lost Game 3 against CFO. They just took fights that they clearly had no business winning and went in again and again. So we have the fight start double TPs from their top lane right here. Hanabi and Driver land at about the same time. And it will be the Hecarim Kongyur that gets the objective here. So J-Team can play through the Drake stack to cut back future strategies from PSG.
PSG, They look a little bit lost here because they take their Hullbreaker top laner and immediately teleport him down to the dragon fight right when he completes it, when he can get the most value out of this item at this point in time. And if Driver's forced to expend his teleport to match it, so be it, because he's already in a gold deficit. If they opt for the fight, he just wins out because he brings a lot more utility to this fight at the moment. So a little bit confused why PSG opt for the play, but I mean, gold wise, they aren't being punished. And J Team, though, they get everything they wanted. They burn the teleport onto Hanabi when it's a straight up 5v5 scenario where their composition is still probably better, and they still get the dragon. It's hard to say that you wouldn't take that as J Team.
Yeah, J-Team has to feel so comfortable about this one. We are taking a look at the driver trades, and honestly, they're not that bad. He's starting to scale past the Renekton, and he does have that Sunfire for extra damage and the wave clear. So far, enjoying his build. This looks probably one of the best games that we have seen from Driver in the playoffs, at least in terms of the early game. Though Hanabi will still get his due here, getting lots of auto attacks down onto this tower, and there is absolutely zero chance that Driver ever kills him, so he's pretty safe to just he's just fronting right now as Driver. He's like, I've got some. So Hanabi is going to be forced to use the Dominus just in case someone does show up here. A good find here from Driver. In the meantime, I do want to see more out of Bay. You know, this is a good start for him. He does a lot of damage, especially to these backliners. So if he can still pop something in before an objective fight, that could swing the game right back in PSG's way.
Yeah, now has the Ludens completed. We do have to remember he is going for the Merc Treads because of the amount of CC and a decent chunk of magic damage coming out from J-Team. So he will have the burst, but at the same time, when you compare across the rift, Uniboy also has his Ludens. So it's not going to be as impactful as maybe we might have imagined. No Swarp boost to add that extra burst potential, and it will be J-Team owning 3 out of 4 objectives at the start.
In the meantime, PSG furiously peeing on the bot side tower. Hanabi says, this one's a gimme. I'm going to take this entire thing. Bay walks in onto Little V, but spots Enso, instantly pops back out. And with J-Team taking the Herald, I want to ask you, where do you think their next point of attack is going to be here? As Bay gets caught by the dredge line, yeah, PSG in the meantime just happy to take away their tower in the bot lane, a full tower at that.
I would have preferred that they use the investment to try and break the mid tower, but as they are topside right now, it's going to be a 3v3,
Here comes a
3v4.
Collapse. The TP is going to come in on the side of Uniboy. Bay can't find the assassination, and in comes the counterpunch by Kong Yue. They get Bay. They also find the volley bear, and now Unified has to go use a defensive feather storm, but he can't get away from Kong Yue. We're running out of mana, does get tagged down, and finally Unified is allowed to leave that fight, but that was, once again, PSG trying to close the gap with 4 members minus Hanabi, and they just can't pull off the mechanical plays. They don't find the crowd control at all.
Yeah, they miss out on the crowd control, and then Unified is showing up here at the same time as Uniboy, but Uniboy just brings a little bit more value with this Syndra controlling more space at the moment here, and Unified holds on to that ultimate for a very long time, eventually pops it, but just unable to find really any purchase in that last fight. So PSG, once again, trying to pull the trigger, trying to go for a more tempo-oriented play, end up falling very, very flat. And I think they feel the pressure of this composition right now, knowing that, hey, we have a LeBlanc, we have the lethality 80 carry, we also have this Volibear, so all 3 of these champions kind of slowly get outscaled. So we have to go now, but J-Team just understanding that
Kaiwing
and
is going to get isolated here, but he has a
counter-engaging.
stasis to keep himself alive. Meanwhile, Hanabi very happy to just take another tower.
Yep.
I really want to see this Hanabi build because he has to build very differently from the way Driver builds his Renekton.
Yes.
I'll say that at the very least. I don't think Tank Renekton's going to do much this game. In the meantime, J-Team happy to just inch closer to that objective, and now Driver has his TP, so Hanabi can't even take that top tower.
Yeah, that top tower is going to be protected by Driver, and I mean the changes. PSG this time around opted away, I should say, from the 5v5, and J Team, they just kind of stick to their guns. They really didn't change a whole lot of their composition. Really, the only big change was, hey, we'll swap Driver over to a tank instead of a fake tank in Renekton. If you're going to build items, at least make it synergize with the champion, and then they drop the Graves for this Hecarim. So still opting for a 5v5 composition, but perhaps even amplifying their 5v5 capabilities, and it's really showcased here because of the lack of 5v5 power from PSG.
Yeah, that was, I had to say, I was kind of chuckling by the attempt there from PSG. They missed the Leona ult, and then you have the Distort bringing back Moonlight Vigil back into the rest of the team. Yeah, it was not very well choreographed. Let's see if Lil V can survive this one, though. Bay comes in with the Distort, misses the chains, but still very close to taking him down. PSG will get a tower for their troubles. Nice find right there.
Yeah, and now is one of those cases where the Philios is really, really strong and hard to kill because he has that Bloodthirster. Usually we talk about the second item, Bloodthirster, as really slowing down his build, but in this instance, you're really only worried about getting picked off. So if you have that extra sustain and you have a wave in front of you, you will pretty much always be topped off in preparation for these objective fights where you're already really strong. So I like the defensive approach when you are stronger in the 5v5. And that's exactly what J-Team have.
Kongir's just going to run into Bay. They're clearing out for the jungle at this point. Still 3 minutes in. It will be a Cloud Soul. So really nice for a composition that does have the Hecarim. It's always fun to see Hecarim speed around the map. And so far for PSG, I'm not sure how they're going to... They still have the gold lead, surprisingly enough. But if you look at across the board, most of the gold is actually concentrated on Renekton, that is descaling and doesn't do much in the 5v5. And also on Tubei, who just hasn't been able to get assassinations off after the Bloodthirster. If you look at Unified, he's actually so far behind the curve. This is one of the few games, I think, in my own memory where I've seen Unified this far behind.
And Unified just really, really underperforming in this particular game. Also did struggle in the CFO series. We saw Shun really go toe-to-toe, and this is probably... I mean, this is the AD carry that most of us would label as the best AD carry in the league, and so far, not really living up to it. Yes, Lil V didn't look great in game number 1, but I would say it was more compositionally rather than himself as a player. Still managed to find some kills, but now, I mean, PSG, they really feel the timer ticking now.
Oh, that was kind of hilarious. I just saw Juhan trying to close the gap, and Konger just right on noped out of there. He ran so incredibly fast, never turned around. And the horse proves to be the faster animal between himself and the bear. Meanwhile, PSG still sticking to a 1-3-1. I think at least PSG have identified a very clear condition on how to drag this game out a little bit. Hopefully find some picks when people are out of rotation and hold on to this gold lead. They... Kudos where it's due. They still have done that, but now is the real answer. They have to fight a 5v5 against this comp in 1 minute.
Yeah, it will be Cloud Soul, which you have to love for a champion like the Hecarim. Gives you that additional damage. The move speed also really to help kite out the fights. Very, very useful for an Aphelios who can struggle navigating the fights. So overall, I love the opportunity given to J-Team here in this game, knowing that, hey, we need Dragon Soul. if we get Dragon Soul, all of a sudden these team fights can be a lot easier for us to fight, even though they're already looking pretty good at the moment anyways.
PSG with the side lane control is able to move into the river early. They will have that potential to just snipe people out as they come in, so very well done on that part. The J-Team are still forcing their way in. Juhan has to give up ground. He's running really fast for a bear, dropping all fours to get on out of there. And J-Team now wrestled back control. Bay could be the most pivotal piece right here. He has 3 kills. He has the damage. Let's see if he can find the assassination so far. Oh, Bay still gets tagged out earlier on. Small win there for Uniboy. And PSG are trying to play this from 2 flanks. Such a difficult fight. But on the left side, Kaiwing already starting out this one. They're trying to tag down onto Enso. And they get the Drake. Most importantly enough, they chase J-Team away. And Driver not able to find the knockback either. Strong win for them. Driver goes in for more. Flashes in. But that's all they can take. So PSG out of a really difficult situation. They managed to win that one.
That's actually a big victory for them because it allows them to continue to play the side lanes, denying that soul and also denying the Elder Spawn from coming up 5 minutes earlier. But J-Team still superior team fight composition, especially, of course, with the tank Gragas. How do you kill this tank Gragas? We saw this adaptation in the Beyond Gaming series, right, Clement? Where, hey, if you pick an Ahri or a LeBlanc in the mid lane who doesn't have high persistent DPS, we'll just go for a hyperscaling tank. We can just hard stack armor and you just can't kill them because, I mean, you have an AP threat up in or you don't have a high enough AP threat in the mid lane and you're running a lethality 80 carry.
This is kind of the big shift from PSG. We just have not seen them really play tempo much throughout this split. They've been very, very slow. They've been very methodical and risk-averse and extremely good at that, no doubt in my mind. But the tempo game, you know, you really have to make use of your strong points. And unfortunately, I feel like this game, PSG has sort of missed those. They've let those fly by. And they're gonna have to outplay as hard as they just did because I don't think it gets easier from this point forward, as you mentioned. So, you know, maybe we'll see how they dish on the team fight. This is where PSG is the strongest, though. I think their team fight out of our remaining 3 teams, they are the best at choreographing these weird engages, these flank angles, and keeping Bay hidden until the very last second.
Yeah, but still haven't found a way to get Hanabi involved.
True. Does Hanabi want to get involved though? I mean, that's kind of my question.
He's 0-0-0 with a 200 gold bounty. I mean, Renekton, at this point, he's pretty much exclusively a split pusher, right? Because 2 items, he's kind of capped. He's already going towards more of these tank itemization afterwards, but like, somehow he has to 1v9 this game, and right now I'm not seeing that angle.
I got some crazy ideas. Would you fancy just going for like Blade of the Ruin King and saying, you know what, I'm just side lane Croc. I'm never 5v5ing.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have gone for the Gore Drinker. Maybe you go for the Divine Sunder or the Triforce just to get the extra Sheen procs, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, the Sheen procs would be really nice against the towers that you're talking about here. But it's so awkward from Renekton. Like, even in the last fight where PSG won, Renekton didn't get to do anything. It was just like, I'm closing down this ramp, and
he has Thornmail.
I feel like old habits do die hard. The problem with this build is, like, even if he goes tank, I don't think he wins. Like, he's still not tankier than Hecarim. Yeah, he's just... I feel like J-Team actually reversed psychology to Hanabi. You know, they made him believe that tank Renekton is actually somewhat a decent pick.
I mean, it was going well at the start, right? We go 2 damage items at the start, but unfortunately, this 3rd item, he's pivoting towards more of the team fight, knowing that, hey, this is where the rest of the game is going to go towards.
True.
I I'm not sure
This
if
is
that's
your
the correct
standard
adaptation.
build. This is your standard build, but this is these are some very weird circumstances where you have to go for the all-in 200 IQ plays
Yes.
because I feel like the rest of your team, so far, like if we think about how PSG got here, they just kind of fumbled themselves multiple engages where honestly I'm not even sure they were supposed to win. So yeah, just PSG not able to close down on these early game picks, and now they have a Renekton who's also building tank, and it's just the worst Gragas. Look at Gragas at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure this Gragas actually just beats out the Renekton in team fights. So
Yeah,
here we go. 20 seconds.
And now when you think about, okay, this composition from the side of PSG, how do we win these fights? It's about generating picks. But on the flip side, we already have Zhonya's completed.
Bey gets caught out. He might just go down.
Oh,
300
clutch
HP.
save coming in from Kaiwing, but now they're on the chase.
Yeah, and Enzo is still incredibly healthy. Little V goes in with the Gale Force to kill. Flashes forward. Unified has to return the flash as well, and J-Team crushed down on this one.
That's Soul, but PSG, they're trying to alleviate pressure by going straight for the Baron. We'll see if J-Team do bite. They don't have enough damage to burst out Baron. That's the issue because you are running a lethality 80 carry, so there's just no persistent DPS, reliable DPS onto a Baron buff that they can actually make this play and threaten J-Team to move over. Now Bey moves in. That's one auto. That's one auto.
You know the thing I was talking about, Bey, is like, he's got the damage, his little block. I don't think that's true anymore. At least definitely not against the current game state. Hanabi, once again, he joins up for the fight, gets absolutely nothing. But at least he will take this tower down. We're finally seeing J-Team trying to respond right here. Hanabi getting some spider senses. Maybe he was able to catch out some vision right here. Enzo doesn't want any part of that croc, or does he? Oh, we do have the TP on the backside. Level V is going to be walking into Bey.
Oh, this is a good opportunity. This is the best chance.
Low. Can Hanabi find Little V? He gets him. The main damage dealer is down. Uniboy can't join the fight. This is PSG's fight to win here. They also get the Hecarim. Driver has to run on out of here. Hanabi not going to let him do it so easily.
Get out.
Oh, Hanabi over chases. He falls down. No. That was a Baron opportunity. Oh.
Yeah, you have to say, like, if they were able to get those 2 kills and get out, that was a clear Baron angle, but because they still have the jungler advantage, they might still go for it. Driver teleporting in, they have vision on the Baron pit. I don't think they can do this anymore. Uniboy, he's so strong.
Driver is gonna try. Bey going for the side flank route. PSG are not letting this one go. Juhan even has to burn kind of a smite, but they finally pull off of the Baron. That was getting a little bit too dicey. I think he called it right there. Can't finish.
As we get to see the replay, Hanabi, I mean, he goes on a bit of an adventure, but really this ward behind them in this Raptor area, that's the MVP of this fight because that allows Bey to dump out a lot of damage, force the stopwatch out of Lil V, and then he's caught in a really bad spot. So they're able to finish off that kill, burn the stopwatch as well, which is a key 650 gold investment, and still get Konya Blood. Unfortunately, because they lose Hanabi, that's the really big frontline champion for them removed. So that's why that Baron was really hard for them to actually try and finish off.
They just getting 300 damage on Driver. Definitely needs to find the backline for that. And I do want to give some compliments to Uniboy. I think he was the one that really saved that team fight. He got a 2-man knockback right there, and did make Hanabi actually over-calculate the damage he was going to get from his own carries, and he flashed out from the Featherstorm too, so really nicely done. Hanabi fails the slice and dice, but nobody knows about it, so he gets to walk right out.
And now here, Lil V has the GA completed, so he's going to be still very, very safe in these team fights. It's going to take a lot of effort once more to find the pick onto this Aphelios. So even though they were able to burn the stopwatch, more than enough gold, complete this GA, and pretty much things remain the same. Hanabi, he has to get a god flank.
Yeah, we do have Little V with 0 summoners, but he does have the GA. He can respawn again, and J-Team do have a very strong lead in terms of the team fights.
They don't have to force anything from the side of the J-Team.
again, they are on the scaling side. You know, they can afford to wait this one out. I feel like they're just angling for a bait here. Maybe they can catch out Hanabi on the flank. I've been loving this version of Hanabi, the Hull Breaker, Agent Hanabi in the backline. It's very entertaining to watch. It's completely different to what we usually see from Hanabi, but I like it so far.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the build seems a little bit underwhelming, but now has the GA, of course, a little bit extra damage with the BF sword item. So that will help out a little bit, but I think everything just boils down to J-Team trying to burn as much time from PSG around this Baron area, and the real game plan is just all in at this Elder Dragon in 90 seconds. So I think we'll see J-Team spend a lot of time towards this area, because if they force PSG to continue staying in this area as well, it means that they're not going to have the vision around that Elder. And it looks like they're actually going to start things out. Hanabi, again, needs a God flank.
Oh, but Kongre goes right in for the turnaround.
Look at the damage!
Already close to death here, and PSG have not found any purchase into J-Team's composition. J-Team gonna go right around and start going through this Baron once again. Hanabi's dominance is about to drop. Bay trying to look for a flank angle. Unified dealing a lot of damage over the wall here with the Qs, but Kongre and Enzo are the two targets here. Let's see if they can find him. Uniboy on the back flank, gonna deal a lot of damage to Bay. One more auto attack, and he's down! That should be J-Team decidedly winning this one. Little V takes half his HP, but he can heal right up with the Bloodthirster. Juhan has to be the one to kind of save this one, but the TP is coming in. Yeah, Kongre and Enzo not able to survive this one, but like you said, the Elder Dragon is up.
Yeah, again, it's all about burning as much time as possible. Yes, they started out the Baron. Yes, it almost looked like they were committed to the Baron. But surely that wasn't the plan, because it all boils down to this fight, Clement. It's J-Team with a minor gold lead, but a large scaling advantage in this 5v5. Can PSG find the flank vehicles without their LeBlanc?
Yeah, it is a 4v5 here, so the only options to go across the wall are going to come from Juhan. Hanabi still has his flash. We have seen crazier things happen at Elder. You do still just tag down on the Elder if you just vanish the last hit. And we have Enzo with a very preemptive use of the ultimate coming in from the backline. It's going to be a 50-50, but Kongre secures the Elder at the very end. Hanabi has to flash away. That was a very hairy situation, but J-Team do win out, and they're running straight for the Baron.
Now with this extra Elder Dragon buff, they can do really anything with it. Of course, Kongre is low, so he's going to go for the recall. They won't immediately turn for the Baron buff, but you can immediately set up fight lines. And any tag coming in from Uniboy now is just going to result in a one-shot. He can immediately dump down the ultimate, and with the bonus execute, it should just be the fight. And now I think PSG, they understand they can't fight against this Elder because they have their top lane in jungle chilling out in this bottom half of the map. They exchange Baron for a tower, so it's a small exchange, and yes, they still lose out on the trade, but at the very least, able to get something on the map, knowing that they cannot 5v5 against the Elder.
Yeah, PSG are forced to wait this one out, and honestly, I don't see a win con here for PSG. Things have just gotten so bad. They don't have the scaling, and this composition just can't fight front to back. It has to come from Bay, but so far, Uniboy, because I guess he's a LeBlanc player himself, has been able to catch Bay out on every single flank. I was so impressed by Uniboy, able to just keep tabs on whatever angle Bay might be coming from.
Yeah, he's just read Bay like a book on this LeBlanc. Again, he's not a big risk taker, so even though he got 3 kills very early on, just didn't push to the advantage hard enough, and now J-Team 5v5 composition again. They don't take a lot of damage from this assassin because they have big frontline champions to eat cooldowns. They just win here.
Caught out. Oh, Unified nearly goes down, has to pop the heal. Kaiwi able to stasis away this time, but in comes Hacker and Kongre trying to find the backline. The dredge line won't land, and at least PSG get to go back to their fountain, but they have to fight this wave. They're going to use this Elder Dragon to
They don't even
every
need to fight.
last second right here. J-Team now taking down
Just
the
hit
Nexus. PSG, you have to go in right now. It will be Enzo to start this one off, but he does have to stasis. He will stay alive. Hanabi goes for the backline, doesn't even get to touch Uniboy. He gets knocked right back, and now Uniboy charges forward. He gets the double kill into the backline. The Nexus is wide open, and J-Team strike back.
J-Team, from beginning to end of this game, yes, Hanabi was put onto the Renekton, yes, he got ahead, yes, he is able to split push towers, but in the end, when it boiled down to it, it was all about the 5v5, and J-Team absolutely murdered PSG.
We had so many questions about J-Team. I personally thought this was going to be a clean 3-0. PSG had so many win conditions. They had the early game, a lead for quite a while in this one too. If you think about the setup,